Hello everyone, welcome back to Madridista Notes. Today we have the UEFA Champions League quarterfinal draw. Of course, the teams that have already qualified for the quarterfinals are Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Chelsea, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli, and Benfica. So if we look at the strength of these teams, I would go by Bayern Munich at the top, then Manchester City, then comes Chelsea, then Napoli. I put Chelsea ahead of Napoli only because of their history in the Champions League. They are a team who has won the Champions League in the last 10 years twice. So they have a reputation, they have some history, they know how to win the Champions League. And Napoli is a team who is in really, really great form, but still um, they are going to do well. But because they don't have the know-how, I still put them below Chelsea for only for that reason. But if you look at current form, of course, Napoli are above Chelsea, but because Chelsea are a team who has already won the Champions League and they always give you something to look forward to. They are a really strong team in the knockout phases. In the last two times we faced them in the Champions League, we got knocked out when they were under Thomas Tuchel and we were under Zinedine Zidane. Then last season we were almost at the cusp of getting knocked out again, but somehow we turned it around in the second leg. Um, so there was a really difficult team to play against. Historically, we haven't really fared that well against them, so that's why I put them ahead of Napoli. And then it comes, I think, in current form, Benfica goes above AC Milan and Inter Milan. So those are the seven teams. So if you look at the current forms, of course, most of the um, teams that have qualified would take AC Milan and Inter Milan and even Benfica. After that, it's anyone's guess. If we have to beat anyone, of course, if we want to win the Champions League. So it's not in our hands, but as we have been really facing all the strong teams in the knockout stages, maybe a more relaxed draw would be preferable for the Real Madrid fans. Last season, in the round of 16, we faced PSG. Then in the quarterfinals, we faced Chelsea. Then in the semifinals, we faced Manchester City. Then in the final, we faced Liverpool. And again this season, we faced Liverpool in the round of 16. Last year's finalists we beat. And now, if we look at this trend, I really think that we are gonna get one of Bayern Munich or Chelsea. For some reason, I think maybe we'll get Bayern Munich or a Chelsea. But it would be preferable to, of course, more get a team, AC Milan or Inter Milan, who are not really that great in a great form right now, even in the Italian league. And if you saw the round of 16 games, AC Milan had a really hard time qualifying against Tottenham, even though Tottenham really didn't show anything in the round of 16, both legs. So AC Milan isn't really in a great bit of form, but when the time comes for the quarterfinals, of course, everything can change. AC Milan is a great team. AC Milan has really, really rich history in the Champions League. They are behind Real Madrid in second place with the most Champions League titles won. So you can never really the little history, as we know. Sometimes the historically great teams, they have the heritage, and that heritage sometimes just pushes those teams. So AC Milan, Inter Milan, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, I would say all the teams are, of course, strong. All the teams are really, really strong, but we'll see. And I am in the UEFA website now, and they are just starting the drawing process. I think they are showing the promo, the Champions League promo right now. So the draw will start any moment now, and we will find out who we are facing in the Champions League round of quarterfinals. Um, from what I have seen and heard from the football fans around the world, it feels like they are taking Real Madrid more seriously this season. Last season, they had some kind of, I don't know, thought process that Real Madrid will be defeated against PSG, then Manchester City, Chelsea. They didn't really give us the kind of respect last season. But this season, after how we came back again and again and again, they are more respectful of Real Madrid. But still, um, somehow they feel that we are still not, I think, a team that they can beat. To be honest, our league form this season hasn't been as great as I would have liked to see. And in the Champions League, Real Madrid are always a different beast. The thing that will be really interesting to see is if we get the first leg away from home or at home, because the second leg, playing the second leg at home gives a massive advantage to any of the team, because now the away rules don't matter. So even if the game goes to extra time, having that extra 30 minutes in front of your own crowd in your own backyard is really, really preferable to going away and playing. So that gives a really good advantage when these um, draws are drawn out. So I think that's what we will have to keep an eye on. And of course, the semifinals draw will be drawn out today too. It's not like we will know which teams are going to play the semifinals, but the our roadmap will be done from if we win, then who will we get in the semifinals, and if we will play the first leg away or home, they will draw those things too today. So we will find out if we go through, then who we might face in the semifinals. They're still talking. They haven't yet started the drawing process yet. I am a little bit of nervous, of course. The draw, it's really interesting. It's really fun to be in the draws. When your team gets knocked out and you know that you don't have any business to be watching the draw, then it feels really, I don't know, empty. But when your team is in the draw, in the channel, of course, alive in the competition, then the draw feels really, really interesting. Yesterday's result was a really interesting one. Arsenal um, got defeated in the penalties. I watched the full match, and I think Arsenal, their mentality for the Europa League hasn't been really of a team who wants to win the Europa League. And it's understandable, they haven't won the league, the Premier League in the last 2 decades, so they are really prioritizing the league. But still, it felt like they are doing a lot of rotations. They did rotations in the first leg. They got good result, I would say, 2-2 away from home, and then at the in the home leg they didn't play three of their best players. I would say their spine, like they didn't play Odegaard, they didn't play Partey, and they didn't play Saka. Those three are the best players of Arsenal, and one of their most informed players, Trossard, they didn't play him too. So if they really wanted to win the Europa League, and I don't know, they would have done what Manchester United is doing. Manchester United, even though they are playing a lot of games, they are putting out their strongest team in the cup competition. So they are showing respect. Um, from They are showing respect to the competition, and that's what people, the neutrals, like to see. Like when you put your best team to play in the competition, the games are more enjoyable. So but still, Arsenal I don't know. Yeah. So they are knocked out, and the Europa League draw will be done after the Champions League draw. And I think it's Manchester United is there, Sevilla from Spain is there. There is, I think, which team was there? Feyenoord is there. Then there is Roma and some. Yeah, I'll have to check the stuff. Which teams are there? Jyoti. Yeah, yeah. I am from Bangladesh. Yep. Okay, they are still showing the. I don't know, some highlights. Oh, they are showing something of Hamid Altintop. The highlights of Hamid Altintop, former Real Madrid player, of course. He was playing for Real Madrid under Jose Mourinho. He has played for teams like Galatasaray. So I think he is going to be doing the draw today, as the final will be in Istanbul. So he's a Turkish international. So he's a decorated player. It's understandable. He's going to be doing the draw today. So Hamid Altintop is here. The process of drawing the teams is going to start any moment now. Let's talk about our round of 16 matchup against Liverpool. In the first leg, I didn't really expect Real Madrid to win with that kind of landslide victory, 5-2. Liverpool started really strong, then they really went down in intensity, and we pounced. We pounced really, really hard. There were mistakes from their defense and goalkeeper too, so you can understand when you give that kind of chances to players like Vinicius Junior and Karim Benzema, they are always going to take advantage of it. And in the second leg, we had a lot of opportunities to score, but when you have a world class goalkeeper like Alisson, and on the other hand, Porto of course saved us a couple of times too with world class saves, but the save that Alisson made from the long range effort from Kamavinga, and then the short, point blank shot from Vinicius, those were really world class saves. He saved Liverpool from being defeated by 3-4 nil, and so he deserves a bit of respect because of that performance. But in the end, we had a comfortable second leg, and we are through to the quarterfinal. In the other matches, Bayern Munich and PSG, I always kept Bayern Munich as the favorites, because PSG doesn't matter if they have Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, Ramos, Donnarumma, and all the stars in the world. They just don't have that aura in the Champions League. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Liverpool, these kind of teams always have that mental fortitude in the Champions League that we can do it. But whenever there is adversity in front of this team like PSG, I don't know, they break. They don't have that mental fortitude, the mentality. And I think that's why Bayern Munich, that was something that was. I think most of the people was favoring Bayern Munich to go through. In the Chelsea versus Dortmund match, Dortmund is like the Tottenham Hotspur of Europe. They somehow, some way cannot just get over the line. And in the first leg, they defeated Chelsea at home, and in the away leg, they just needed to get a draw. But they really, really stunk the place out, and Chelsea played well. So Chelsea, even though Chelsea's team hasn't been in great form, they do well in the Champions League, and so they are a team to be to keep an eye on, because they have nothing else to play for in the league. Right now, they're in 10th place, and they are going to have a really hard time qualifying through the league, because they have a huge gap in the from 4th place to 10th place in points gap too. So yeah, Chelsea will put all their balls in the basket of the Champions League. In the other match, Napoli versus Frankfurt, it was never in doubt that Napoli is the stronger team and Napoli is going to go through, and they went through in style. And then there is Milan versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham is Tottenham. Milan, even though they didn't play that great, they got over the line. That's what this team, teams like his, yeah, that's what you need to do. Just get over the line. Then there was Inter Milan versus Porto, a really evenly contested match. It was really, really close until the final whistle of the second leg, and Milan just got over the line. And the last one was Benfica versus which team? I totally forgot. Let's check. It was Benfica versus Club Brugge. So it was totally predictable that Benfica was going to go through too. Okay, they are still talking. They are still talking. Now they have brought out Justin Kluivert, former AC Milan player, and they are still talking. I don't get it. Why are they still talking? It's already 12 minutes. So just start the draw, man. What are you guys talking so much about? Just start the draw. That's why this I don't know. They bored the people out for the first 15-20 minutes for some reason. I don't understand. Just start the draw. Okay, okay. Looks like they are going to start the draw now. They are explaining the rules of how they are going to do the things. I put it on mute. It's the same thing every single time, so I don't even want to listen to what they are talking about. They have to explain the rules every single time. Just, yeah, we know, we know. Just get on with it. Just get on with it. Let's see. Still explaining the rules here. Let me check the quarterfinal teams for the Europa League. It's Sevilla, Feyenoord, Juventus, Manchester United, Sporting Lisbon, Bayer Leverkusen, Roma, and Union Saint Gilloise. So a lot of really, really strong teams left in the Europa League. I think Roma with Jose Mourinho. Then there is Juventus with Massimiliano Allegri, Manchester United. Mm, then, of course, the king of Europa League, Sevilla. So, and of course, our former Real Madrid player, Xavi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen, who are playing some good football too. Okay, it starts, it starts. Hamid Altintop has taken out the first ball from that bowl, and he's taking out, let's see who he, okay, who is it? Real Madrid. So we have gone Real Madrid, Real Madrid. Let's see. The first name that came out, it has Real Madrid. Okay, Justin Kluivert has taken out the second one. Chelsea FC. So Real Madrid has gotten Chelsea in the quarterfinals. So yeah, yeah. I was having so the same matchup from last season, the same matchup from last season. I was thinking maybe a new team. Okay, this is Inter Milan. Inter Milan. Okay, the same matchup again. And as I was saying, even though they haven't been in good form this season, Chelsea will be a really difficult opponent. They have some really good players. They bought heavy reinforcements, and it's Benfica versus Inter Milan. So this will be another really evenly matched contest. Inter Milan just defeated Porto, Benfica's rivals in the league. So Inter Milan will go again, again. Again, another Portuguese team in Benfica. Okay, let's see. Real Madrid versus Chelsea, huh? Once more. Okay, let's see. It's Manchester City. For some reason, I feel like Manchester City is going to get drawn against Bayern Munich. Is it going to be Bayern Munich? Okay, let's see. Who do they get? Who do they get? They got an easier matchup in Leipzig. Just as we thought. So the strongest, I would say, the strongest, if you look at so Manchester City versus Bayern Munich, and now we have left AC Milan versus Napoli. So it's a Syria derby or whatever. It's a Syria matchup. So in semi-final, we will see one of the Italian teams for sure, and then Inter Milan versus Benfica. So whoever from Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man City, Bayern goes through. Oh, let's see. Okay, so Milan versus Napoli. So really, really interesting matchups. Real Madrid versus Chelsea, Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. Oh man, uh, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard. Yeah, Chelsea are a team that I don't know, just like Liverpool, like they are not really that um they haven't been really consistent in the league, but I still couldn't predict what can happen in the round of 16. Just like that, Chelsea, even though they are not consistent in the league, in knockout competitions, you can never say. Winner of quarterfinal four. Okay, quarterfinal four is Milan versus Napoli. So semifinals, they are doing the semifinals draw right now. Who is going to go against Milan versus Napoli? The winner of Milan versus Napoli is going to get. Who are they going to get? Let's see. It's going to be winner of quarterfinal two. So whoever between Milan and Napoli wins, they are going to get Inter or Benfica. So, oh damn it, man! Again, this is going to be so hard. So, if we go through against Chelsea, then we have to beat out Manchester City or Bayern Munich to go through the final. This is going to be another really, really difficult pathway to the final if we want to win the Champions League this season. This is going to be really very, very hard. So, winner of quarterfinal one versus winner of quarterfinal three. So, Real Madrid or Chelsea versus Manchester City or Bayern in the semifinals. Ah, oh, again, again, it could be something like last season again, but I think Manchester City versus Bayern Munich, it's a really even matchup. Just like I think Real Madrid versus Chelsea is an even matchup. I think so. Because Real Madrid hasn't been really consistent in the league. Chelsea hasn't been consistent in the league. But of course, we have been more consistent than Chelsea at the very least. But we have to say Chelsea made a lot of good reinforcements in the January transfer window. So they have players that can hurt us. Like when we played Shakhtar in the group stages, he played well against us. And then there is Enzo Fernandez from Benfica. He had a really good World Cup. He's a really good player. Then they have Kai Havertz, who has done well previously against us. They have Raheem Sterling, who is a really good player. They have Pulisic. They have Hakim Ziyech. Remember that Ajax, the time Ajax knocked out, Hakim Ziyech played a part. So these are the Draw results: Real Madrid versus Chelsea, Inter Milan versus Benfica, Manchester City versus Bayern Munich, and AC Milan versus Napoli. The winner between Real Madrid versus Chelsea is gonna get Manchester City or Bayern Munich. The winner between Inter Milan versus Benfica is gonna get the winner between Milan and Napoli in the semifinal. This is the I think, and I think that we are gonna play the first leg. I think will be at home. I think that Real Madrid is going to play the first leg at home, and the away leg, the second leg will be at Chelsea. For some reason, I prefer this one, playing the first leg at home against Chelsea, because last I have a little bit of PTSD from last season when we defeated them comfortably in the first leg, but then we almost screwed it up in the second leg at the Bernabeu against Chelsea, and it was Rodrigo who got us through. Really, great contribution from Rodrigo and Camavinga as substitutes. So I think it was a really interesting draw. All the favorites, I would say, got drawn against each other. The teams who have history, I would say, Bayern Munich versus Manchester City, Real Madrid versus Chelsea. It will be interesting to see who goes in the final. I think the final road is laid out for Napoli. Napoli is the most informed teams among those four teams, because Benfica versus Inter Milan, whoever wins, and then Napoli versus AC Milan. I Most of the people, I would say right now, if you ask them, Napoli is the favorite. Inter Milan versus Benfica is anyone's guess. And then if Napoli goes through in the semi-final, whoever they face between Inter Milan and Benfica, it will be still Napoli will be the favorite. And so I think anyone, yeah, I would say it would be easy to predict Napoli to um, go to the final, but it's football. It never goes according to plan, and so anything can happen. But the matchups, the matchups, Real Madrid versus Chelsea and Bayern Munich versus Manchester City. I have no words. I have no words. This kind of all the favorite teams getting drawn up against each other in the quarterfinals, and then even in the semifinals. And the other side of the draw, the other side of the draw is the more preferable draw for anyone. They have a way to the final here. I never really saw that kind of. I don't know. I don't remember this kind of. Uh, it's a little bit of unique this time that one of Napoli, AC Milan, Inter Milan, or Benfica is going to be in the final. Even though if you ask right now anyone, they wouldn't say they are the top three favorites in the Champions League. But still, one of them is going to be in the final of the Champions League this year, and the favorites for the Champions League are gonna fight against each other, and one of them is going to go into the final. And whoever goes into the final from these four teams, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City, is going to be the hot favorites for the final of this year's Champions League. And I would say I am confident, of course, but I respect Chelsea. I respect Chelsea because they have always been really difficult to play against in Europe. Whenever we have drawn against each other until last seasons, we didn't have a really favorable head-to-head. Um, I don't know. For some reason, we don't seem to do that great against Chelsea. But last season, we reversed it. The kind of difficulties we have against Chelsea, we beat them at their home ground, and then we almost screwed it up at our home ground. But in the end, we came out of it. Um, and on our way to win the Champions League. So this season, we are playing the home first leg at home, and I prefer it this way. And with the La Liga almost, I think, out of our reach because we are too far behind Barcelona, I think the team should definitely prioritize Champions League because in the league it's not in our hands unless Barcelona drops 9, 10 points and we keep winning our matches, which we are not doing in the league. We drop points every other match, we draw or lose, and we have Barcelona. Um, I think, yeah, we got Barcelona on the weekend, and this match will show us, because if we do not win, we do not get 3 points and make the gap smaller between us and Barcelona. I think then the league is done. If we do not beat Barcelona this weekend, I think then the league is done. And if the league is done, then you have to 100% focus in the Champions League. In the league, before the Champions League knockout, I'm not saying that don't totally forget about the league. I'm saying that when we are playing the Champions League match midweek, the La Liga match before that midweek match, we should definitely rest our best players so they are totally fresh for the Champions League. So that would be, I think, what our team should do. Unless we beat Barcelona this weekend, then I think the league is wide open again, because there is still lots of points to play for. Even though Barcelona somehow grinds out 1-0 win every single time, they somehow just do it. And I think it looks like they are going to win the league. And Real Madrid can never come out and say, we have given up on the league. That you cannot say. If you're playing for Real Madrid, if you were coaching Real Madrid, you can never say that. But we know that if we draw against Barcelona at the Camp Nou this weekend, then it's totally done. Our gap between Barcelona and us would be too much to. In the remaining matches, I don't think Barcelona will drop that many points unless they get relegated. Because they have been paying the vice president of the referees since 2003 or something. They are getting, they are going to fight the case and stuff like that. Unless they get relegated and get 20, 30, 50 points, like that. Um, and they shouldn't, if they are found guilty, they should be relegated to the lowest division of the Spanish league, not even the second division, because the fairness of football comes into question. The worst thing in sports you can do is buy out the referee. That's the worst thing you can do. It totally makes you, I don't know, it just totally takes your trust away from sport, the fairness of the game. Like, I don't like watching La Liga games anymore for this reason. Like, when you see that this kind of reports that the vice president of referees, even though he's retired now, but he was the vice president of referees when he was getting payments from Barcelona. And those, they don't have any papers with those payments. They don't have a money trail, and so you can see that there is shady things going on. So it's a conflict of interest. If you are the vice president of the referee association and you are getting paid by a team participating in the league, then the total fairness of the competition comes into question. And you can remember how you're going to get totally stupid decisions against us whenever we used to play in the El Clasico. It used to happen so much during those times under Jose Mourinho that it used to boil. My blood used to boil, because fair game. I like a game to be fair, the match to be fair. If you beat us fairly, then you beat us fairly. Then my team wasn't up to it. But if you're getting favored by referees, then yeah, it totally ruins the image of the sport, and it totally ruins the image of La Liga. So if they're found guilty, they should be relegated to the depth of hell. Now, Chelsea, inshallah, hopefully, we win against this Chelsea team and we go ahead in the Champions League semifinals, where one of Manchester City or Bayern Munich will be waiting for us. If we go through and beat beat Chelsea. So our road is again really really difficult, but it makes it all the more sweeter when we win the Champions League. Last season, remember how we did remontada again and again against PSG. The favorite for Champions League last season, everyone was really, oh, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, and then we beat them. Then came Chelsea in first leg, comfortable second leg, we almost screwed it up, we beat them. um, in the semi-final, everyone said Manchester City were the favorites. They are the favorites to win the Champions League. Blah blah blah. We beat them in the final again. Everyone saying Liverpool are the better team. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, Real Madrid. We were lucky. We somehow won against Manchester City, even though we didn't play well for most of the semi-finals. Then we beat them. So when we are beating the best teams and they are always putting us down, saying, yeah, 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 you're lucky. We don't care. We're Real Madrid fans. We win Champions League. We don't care. So when we beat all the best teams and then you win the Champions League, it makes it all the more sweeter. But it will be really, really difficult. The path is really difficult. We just beat Liverpool, the from last year's finalists. Now we have to beat Chelsea, a super team, like people say, a super team. They spent around 600 million or something this year. They spent in the summer and in the winter around 600 million. So it's a really heavily loaded team. So it will be difficult, but hopefully, inshallah, we will go through. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Hala Madrid.